This is Bogus, Bunce, and Bean, three of the meanest, nastiest, ugliest farmers in his valley.
What was that?
They're digging us out.
But they're about to discover
Oh, Foxy. Is help on the way?
he's one fox
I've got an idea.
you can't outfox.
You're talking about the fantastic Mr. Fox?
Fantastic, Mr. Fox.
A well-titled film, indeed.
Who
Really?
actually,
Because
yeah.
I thought he was kind of the mediocre Mr. Fox.
I kind of thought he was the suck-ass Mr. Fox because he was a bad father and a bad parent.
Okay, in terms of the movie.
But he makes a kick-ass movie though. Okay, no, I love this movie. We were just recently talking about another animated film where we said this is everything wrong with animated films. The Fantastic Mr. Fox is a lot of things right with animated films that I wanted to see people do. Like, make it more mature, but not have to, like, rely on all these pop culture references that adults would recognize to make it mature. No, just make it an actual good story with good characters.
Well, this does have the upper hand in that it's adapted from a Roald Dahl story, and that it's a really great story.
Yeah, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach, he wrote.
And and so this is done by Wes Anderson, who has never done a children's film before and probably should have.
Yeah,
he's recognized for
Rushmore and the Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah, Life Aquatic.
Yeah, this was a seriously good move for Anderson for one thing, because he was his formula was, I won't say stale, but it was almost like we were just waiting for him to do something new. We're like, remember when he was really exciting, the style, his quirky style, and after a while we're like, okay, we get it. What's next? This is what's next, and wow, what a great step! I mean, this isn't only really great for a Wes Anderson film. This is just really great period for animation in general.
Well, just real quick to touch on what you were saying, like any over-stylized director or what we consider to be the new auteurs today, the new auteurs are people who just do the same shit over and over now. And Wes Anderson was that guy. We had these deadpan characters set to some British pop song from the 60s, and he was repeating that in every movie. Now, he does sort of the same thing here. I don't know if it's because it's done with animals now or it was just taken from a good story, but he's actually made his old routine very fresh.
Yeah, it does feel really fresh here. And like I said, for an animated film, there's a lot of stuff here we haven't seen before because of this fusion. I mean, there are points that very rarely you look at an animated film and go, wow, that shot was just gorgeous. And not in a, wow, it was fun to look at type of way, but in a cinematography type of way. And this film does that over and over again.
Well, that's because this film looks and feels distinctly like a Wes Anderson film. It was the way they shot the animation is exactly how Wes Anderson frames his films, and it's done with the same delicate care that he takes. So every shot of this film looks and feels like Wes Anderson. If you showed this to people without his name on it, critics would have walked out going, wow, this guy's really got a hard on for Wes Anderson films, because you can practically smell him on this movie.
Damn.
Like he wiped his ass with it.
Here you go, Carlisle.
Wow.
Is he Roald Dahl? Oh, thank God.
Enjoy my Anderson freshness.
Kleenex next time, though, fellas. Seriously.
But what did you think?
I'm in a different camp than you guys. I saw this movie and I thought it was not bad, but at the same time, I wasn't wowed by it. To be honest, when I saw the trailer, I thought I had something formed in my head. And then Carlisle came back and said how great it was. I was like, okay, good. I guess I'm wrong. And I saw it. I was like, no, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Matter of fact, as much as you say it looks unique, all I could think was Chicken Run the whole time. What? And I mean, it had a lot of elements from Chicken Run in it. And and also I'm looking at the stop motion animation. A little shortcutty and choppy at times. I understand, you don't want to spend a lot of time on it. It's not even cost effective to do it the way they used to, but not all of it's that great. I mean, I enjoyed it, but at the same time, none of it wowed me.
I have to back up Leon to a certain extent. He is the guy that gave a rental to Planet 51. So I
think I gave him some old bullshit.
After we beat you to submission.
We got to beat him on this one.
So I can understand how he has a slightly different perspective on animation than we do.
You know what, man? See, I just have to disagree with you on everything that you've said so far. You're not even criticizing this movie very harshly, but one of the charms of this film is the animation. I don't think that they were trying to go for this sleek animation look, especially with what you see even when they do stop motion with things like what we see in the
Chicken Run.
Chicken Run. No, what's the guy that directed A Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline. Henry Selick. He actually does a very smooth, almost modern style of stop motion. This is a throwback just to what the actual charm of stop motion was, which is that it was choppy.
Like Wallace and Gromit?
Like
Chicken Run.
Well, but that's what I actually really like about this.
Yeah.
One of the problems I've had with Henry Selick's work is he's perfected a team so good that it's almost indistinguishable from CG, and it makes me wonder why not just do it in CG. This looks like stop motion, and it looks like the stop motion I grew up with, and it has this great nostalgic feel while also telling a really great story.
And you know something, the great part of what you're saying, because I totally agree with you on that, is that it feels very hands-on too. You can tell that these artists, they weren't pulled back or constrained by too much technical stuff. They had fun with this animation. Well, I don't know all the names of that animation team, but you could just tell by the little motions and just the little crazy mannerisms that these characters had, that these animators were actually putting, and I'm gonna sound real deep with this, but they were putting a lot of their humanity and fun into those characters, and it made me laugh. I mean, I thought it was a really cute film in that way.
Well, it's not just that. The writing here is really good. It's got a real clever script to it. They got great actors to perform it. I was laughing afterwards that George Clooney plays the fantastic Mr. Fox, as it were. And the whole thing on points reminded me of Ocean's 11 a little bit, because he's always putting together these elaborate schemes with a big team of very different and oddball characters, like heists. I was like, I was almost enjoying it in the same way I enjoyed Ocean's 11.
And that comes back to my other point of how it's so many other things I've seen before. It just didn't wow me with originality or show me something I hadn't seen. Yeah, I got that same Ocean's 11 vibe too. It's like, oh, it's George Clooney's character from Oh Brother Where Art Thou playing Danny Ocean in this movie, except he's a fox this time.
Well, and come on, could they be any less original than hiring Willem Dafoe? How many films is that motherfucker going to be in this year?
I know.
Chaos Reign.
I was going to say
the fucking foxes.
If only they had the fox say Chaos Reign. That would have been the best one.
And they could. He's one of those actors that they just hired for his name, because you can't even tell it's him in the movie. I mean,
I couldn't.
It could have been anybody talking like this. I mean, I thought they really had a redneck rat doing it.
That's a great character, though.
No, it is a great character.
So unique and weird.
And this story is great, man. I never read the book, but it is about Mr. Fox, who is George Clooney. He plays, and
he's fantastic.
Man, he's great in this. At first, I was thinking, like, I'm looking at I keep picturing George Clooney with a bunch of fur glued on his fucking face, but after a while, it's like, okay, this character is like, well, because you can't
whatever
help
you're into, brother.
Well, you can't help but think about George Clooney at the beginning of the movie when you hear his voice. You're thinking George Clooney, and that's the problem with having big actors in movies like this for animated films. But you lose yourself into the character, and it's a great character because Mr. Fox is an addict. He's a destructive character. He can, to the point it's affecting his family. He cannot stop hunting chickens, and is putting everybody he knows around him in jeopardy. And the people that he is going against is like, they're almost like the mafia. It's what Boggle, Bogus, and Bean. They're all fucking mean or something. I don't know how the rhyme goes, but they're bad, unsavory characters. And so, in their attempts to get Mr. Fox, well, soon they're going after Mr. Fox's family, and soon they're going after all their friends. And pretty much the whole animal community is like, what the fuck you doing to us, Mr. Fox?
Another book party?
Whoa, I didn't see you sitting in the dark over there. Yeah, no, actually, there's a fire. I just got the call. They said maybe it's arson. I got to interview the marshal and see what's...
Kylie, is he telling the truth?
I don't want to be put in the middle of this.
Thanks, Kylie.
Why is he wearing that bandit hat?
His ears were cold. He's not with us. Go back to bed.
If what I think is happening, it better not be.
No, to back up what you were saying, one of the great things about this story is it's a lot like The Incredibles. I mean, it's a story about a guy's midlife crisis, but things go even more terribly wrong than we've seen in the past, where his midlife crisis gives way to some really messed up situations that fucks things up for everybody.
Yeah, no, and it's a great way of handling it. I mean, we are watching what is essentially a children's film, but it feels like where the wild things are, what that was aiming for. Something that was a nice middle ground, something that is not exactly talking down to kids and not really being too low for adults to enjoy. It is that, and it's going to get that hipster crowd that it wants to get to, because like we said, it is a Wes Anderson movie with animals in it.
Yeah. I mean, you say like, hey, it's a new stop motion animated film, and most people are like, whatever. But you put Wes Anderson on it, and they can't wait to go. And they're already coming out telling you how awesome it was before they've even gone in to see it.
Wow, you got some feelings about this, I can tell.
I know. What did Mr. Fox do to you,
Everybody
man?
stating their opinion. I state mine. It doesn't jive with yours, and now you're gonna single me out like I have an issue.
Yeah, goddamn right we are Planet 51.
It just sounds. It sounds
How
personal.
dare you give
I
that?
know.
It's not.
No?
I mean, the thing is, I guess y'all miss it. Is like I did say positive. I did like the movie. I just
Not
didn't love it. You know, y'all like our Where the Wild Things audience is. What? You didn't give it a better than sex? Fuck you guys.
Hey, what we need to clarify right now is that Leon, you did not care for the movie as much as we did, so it gets a matinee. And Corey absolutely loved it, so it gets a matinee.
I'm just saying, man. You make it sound like you make you. What the fuck?
I didn't do it. I didn't
I
break
know. It's
it.
like he's been laughing all the time.
He's looking at me like,
I'm sorry.
make him stop.
Leon, what's your problem? We trying to do comedy here, and you keep laughing.
But it's like a 10-minute laugh session. He said something. It took 15 minutes for us to wait for you to stop laughing. I mean, I'm fucking with Lee. He's mad now. Like, wait, he ain't laughing now. He's like,
See
wait.
how he made that about you?
Man, why don't you stop laughing so we can get our jokes out? All right, stop. Oh yeah, you're not laughing now. Now you're mad.
Hey man, that was funny, man. Come on. No, you do make it. It makes it sound kind of personal with you. Like
It's not.
You make it sound
You
like
know
Mr.
what? If it's anything personal, I clearly went in with too high expectations.
Okay, you make it
I'm
sound like
sorry.
Mr. Fox came in a Popeye's chicken and stole your chicken right in front of him. You all mad about it.
No, you know what? I really love the idea of him going through his midlife crisis and that he can't stop. He can't. You know what? He says it himself. I'm a wild animal. And that's what it comes down to. He cannot, avert his own nature. It's about him doing that, even having a family and people around him who, his actions are fucking them all up. And it's hard for him to not be who he is. He has to learn that. I love that. I mean, I think it's a great story idea. There's just a lot of incidentals, things that happen around the side, things that are like, I kind of saw that coming. Yeah, Wes Anderson's done that before. And this doesn't really advance everything. It just took away from the whole experience that made me kind of go like, well, I liked it. At the same time, I'm just not raving about it.
Well, here's the other thing. Comparing this to something like Planet 51, a lot of other movies, to actually praise Where the Wild Things Are, one of the things we said about it is that none of these characters did funny voices or ridiculous characterizations. Right. In this movie, it's the same way. I mean, there's a ton of people who Wes Anderson usually works with, Jason Schwartzman, Owen Wilson, Meryl Streep. I mean, all these people come in and they pretty much just read it in a very normal voice. I mean,
Except for William Dafoe.
Except for, we already made that exception right there. Yeah, he comes in. He sounded like he was drinking moonshine before he came.
But then again,
Apple cider.
in his appearances in Wes Anderson's other films, he also is doing crazy accents. So to be fair, that's kind of his thing in Anderson's films.
Okay, yeah. But here,
There's one guy who lets, hey, can I, you got to imagine being Willem Dafoe where he walks out of the set and he goes, hey, I've got this really great idea for the character. No, he wants you to stand still and be Willem Dafoe. But that's what I do in every movie. That's why we hired you. And Wes Anderson's the guy who's like, just go nuts.
Yeah.
And Wes Anderson's like, put your clothes back on, man. You ain't gonna go that far. I don't know what to say, man. I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm giving you shit. You know that.
Yeah, you are wrong, but still.
You messed up, man. You know.
The dueling matinees.
No. What makes you think? What have I said here at all that made you think I was gonna get us a matinee?
Your history. I'm Corey Coleman.
No, I'm giving this a rental. No, of course it's a full price for me. I think it's a great children's film that everybody has been asking for a long time.
Yeah, not only do I think the story here is really good and the voice acting of which, we only named a few of the great people who are in this. I mean, everybody in this is really good. Not only are those elements good, but the thing that bugged you, Leon, was one of the charms for me. I mean, the incidental details are what make this so much more than just a regular animated film and just a really great, entertaining movie. It's a full price to me, absolutely.
Well, I just like to reiterate that I did like this movie.
Okay.
But I'm still giving it a very, very high matinee.
Okay.
I gotta say that you are absolutely fucking wrong. This is a
Get him!
Get him! Quick, someone call Bill Murray. No, this is it's a full price movie. I absolutely adore this film. It's really great. There's nothing wrong with it. It is exactly what we were hoping for when we sat down to watch Where the Wild Things Are. It's very intelligent, very heartfelt, very nostalgic, beautiful family fare.
Yeah, I guess it is one of those movies where if you are used to seeing things be a little more slick, which kids are today, then in adults, maybe the stop motion will be a little jarring to you for at least a full length big screen motion picture. But I don't know, man. I found that part of the charm of the film. And you're right. He didn't just steal chicken. He stole moonshine too. Hey, well, apple cider.
Yeah, that was it. Was one of these, like, he was so set on chickens, and they just went like, apple cider too. What the hell? I'm on a roll.
So apparently, not only is he like an addict, but he's a drunk too. He's the worst family guy. He should have turned that shit into the Duke Boys. Since he was stealing moonshine, he should have been chased by the farmers. He's in the General Lee, jumps a bush.
And then it pauses. When Jennings comes in, goes,
"Well, Mr. Fox has got himself into another pickle. How's he gonna get out of this?"
You really are fantastic.
I try.